All right.
There we go.
Kekoa Canullo, part 2.
Part 2?
Part
When was part 1?
Well, part 1 we did it in his gym. And,
okay.
So this is, we're catching up with him 6 or 7 months later is kind of what we've established already.
Yeah, something like that.
A lot of things happen in those 7 months.
For sure.
Having that conversation when you're at that like advanced, intermediate, advanced, moving to like the upper echelon of the sport, the improvements come really rapidly. So
for sure.
That's kind of where we're at. And catch us up. What's happened? You had a battleground match, submission battleground match.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good tournament a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I had a lot of matches. I mean, since then I did a lot. I was like, went to Orlando for ADCC Open, did the Vegas ADCC Open, and then I think I did Fight to Win, main character in Texas, and then battleground.
Okay.
And then Triple Crown last week or something like that.
How are you getting around to all these different places?
Luckily I got a sponsor paying for my flights.
What?
Yeah, I was super just lucked out. A lot of my friends that surf, they're all sponsored by this company, and I guess the owner was here and he's a big like MMA fan, jiu-jitsu guy, so he heard that I was competing and like I just did the trials, so he was like, "Oh, I want to help you out." And
do you want to shout out your sponsor?
Yeah, Shutaku, Japanese company. It's hard. They don't make a lot of products, so I can't like represent too much, but yeah, I just try to do the best I can. But yeah, they help me with my flights, hotels, so all I have to do is really just have money for food and stuff, and then I'm good.
That's awesome.
100%.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
100%. Yeah.
Shitaku?
Shutaku.
Shutaku.
Yeah, Shutaku.
What do they do? What kind of business is it?
That's what I mean. Honestly, they've given me like a couple towels and like they help out with the surf contest. But from what I know, it's like pretty much like a Japanese investor, and like they'll bring all their work team over here to Oahu and do like a little surf thing. So I know when I get back from San Jose next week, I'm supposed to take them all surfing and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So I think they're still building their company, but they just, I don't know, I guess it's like investing in the youth, I guess, because they help my sister for surfing and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How many people are coming down?
It's supposed to be a lot.
If you need help with helping them take them surfing, let me know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're supposed to, I know we're supposed to break it up into a couple groups, and we're probably going to have like 12 per group. Okay. So, we're just going to take them to Waikiki and just try to get them on some waves.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Totally.
I lucked out on that one for sure.
That's cool. It's cool to see people like they don't want anything from you. They just want to like, hey, we're going to help out. We're going to help support. We're going to get rid of some of those obstacles. Like give you the opportunity, like focus on your craft and like, let's go get it.
Yeah. It's it's trippy because you're just like, what I do to deserve this? It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's cool though. It's just like one of those things you just gotta take the opportunity and kind of run with it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome, right?
Yeah, super stoked.
All right, so some of these matches, you are a purple belt, but you've been competing nogi, which we were talking about earlier. It gives you that like I can fight anybody. Whoever signed up, we got. So you had a match against some upper belts, brown belts, and black belts.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those.
Yeah. Orlando was like the first one where I was like really got to go against some upper belts. Like I think first match went against, or maybe we did talk about this last time now that I'm thinking about it, but anyway, I lost to a brown belt on points. Darced the guy and got choked out by a black belt. First time I competed against a black belt, and yeah, he smoked me for sure. I was like very frustrating being there by myself, just going back to my hotel room. Like, dang, I'm not cut out for this. But yeah, it was a good experience, so it definitely made me like train harder. And then I think the next time I really got to go against the upper belt was battleground. Going against Dan.
Dan. Dan's solid.
Yeah, Dan was
solid.
Yeah, Dan was definitely like kind of a puzzle to solve. I'm used to like high pace, just scrambling, and he was more just like
very methodical.
Yeah,
technical.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's definitely trippy.
Yeah, that's I think when I first started jiu-jitsu, I did the novice, beginner, whatever division it was, and then became a blue belt. I think I did the intermediate division once, and then somebody told me, or I think I heard like Keenan Cornelius talking about, oh, you can just do expert division. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like you can just
enter.
Yeah, like why?
Sure, let's try it.
Why am I gonna wait to face the best people? Like let's just go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I have that's awesome that you're out there doing that. Like I have a lot of respect for that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Gary, what was your first expert? Like how much training did you have when you signed up for your first expert?
Probably 15 months, and the guy the guy electric chaired me.
Oh no, I hate those.
Oh my gosh, that was here in Hawaii.
Yeah, I was here in Hawaii. Like some Helsing guy, old school Helsing guy. But it was it was awesome experience. Like,
yeah.
Right? I'm sure you can relate to that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. The first expert division I did, I lost in an intermediate final.
Okay.
by a leg lock, and then I knew I had a leg locker first match. Well, I had Kainoa Torigo. He was my first match.
Oh yeah, he's
yeah.
He's
and my
good.
I remember
his
like
guard is crazy.
yeah, he's really good. Super fun to train with. I remember my confidence just went all the way down. I remember some of my friends were trying to like get me ready for a match. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm already signed up.
He's not even a black belt yet either.
Oh,
right?
he's a purple belt.
Yeah,
he's really good.
His
guard is super
crazy good.
Yeah, I think he heel hooked me in like 45 seconds. I like did not know leg lock. That's what made me like work leg locks. So I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to catch up.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like definitely a big learning experience though.
Wow. I think like getting that step up as soon as possible and fighting those guys, like this is where I have to be at. Like, if you're gonna do it, just go for it. I was the same way. Like you can fight up. Like I'm signing up. Like coach, like what did you? You're the wrong bracket. I'm the right bracket.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that guy's a brown belt. I'm like, well, he's dead.
Right. He's dead. Yeah, I try not to focus on the belts too much. I definitely like. I know one of my goals is to submit a black belt in a tournament. That was like my goal for this year. But at the same time, like people are like, oh, you know, like worried about belts. I'm like, belts hold up pants, you know. Scales pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of hard. It's like you go with some blue belts that are just way harder to roll with than like an experienced black belt. But like different aspects, like I don't know. I guess because some guys, it's like you have that athletic, like scrappy pace, and then you have the black belt who's gonna like slow it down and make you play like a chess match, you know.
Yeah. So where do you think you play in that?
I don't know, honestly. I'm still figuring that out. I feel like sometimes I'm like, just let everything go and start doing cartwheels, and then like just make it scrambly and scrappy. And then other times I'm like, try to pace myself. Like with Dan, I tried to be like more methodical. I remember he sat and I was like, I'm gonna cartwheel over him. And I was like, no, never mind, I'm not gonna. But yeah, I think I'm trying to find it in between. I feel like I think for me, I try to play kind of right in between, like know when to go and then know like when I have a good spot to kind of just cook the guy. But I feel like I'm still figuring out like my exact method, I guess. Kind of just wing it.
Now I've seen your cartwheel pass. Right?
Yeah,
it's a no-handed cartwheel pass.
Yeah. I feel like when you put your hand down, you get triangled or armbarred.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
No idea.
No
honestly.
idea.
Yeah.
You just
I kind of just I like did it once in training, messing around. I was like, oh, I wonder if that would work. And then I did it like a couple times at blue belt. Didn't really. Kind of just did it to freak people out, and then really started doing it and like passing people with it. I was like, oh, this works. But I kind of been using it. I've been trying to like not use it as much. Like I did it in my match at main character, and like I kind of like just didn't even pay attention to my game plan. I just started doing cartwheels and started just going, trying to fight fire with fire, and ended up losing. So with Dan, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna actually use my jiu-jitsu, not just try to like luckily jump on a submission. So, but yeah, I think I try to use it with bigger guys for sure. I did it at Triple Crown. I had a bigger guy, and I cartwheeled over him a couple times, and I could tell he was getting frustrated. And then it opened up like my J-point passing and stuff.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's fun.
you fight those open brackets. It's like you got to use what you got. You ain't gonna match them strength for strength, but like,
exactly.
let me
I'm
use
never
speed.
doing the open bracket ever again. I'm too old for that, man.
The open brackets are rough for sure. It's fun, but it's like, damn. Sometimes you pull the biggest guy in the bracket first match, like get the full experience, I guess.
I got 1 year. I got was it ultra heavyweight's the highest they go?
I don't know.
I got whatever the top bracket was. And you guys remember Moises Lopez, Honey Badger? So he was a Drysdale guy. I think I was a purple belt at the time, and I matched up with Moises. I don't know, like 7 months prior at blue belt. So I saw the name. I didn't know his name, but I knew he was a Drysdale guy. So I see the okay, Drysdale guy. I'm like, okay, I want to rematch this guy. And he put it on me, but I was like, I'm gonna get this rematch. Like I got some things I want to try out. And I'm walking towards the mat, and I'm like, wait, that's not Honey Badger. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, oh my god, he was like 300 pounds.
Oh, really?
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I don't have a game plan for this. And I'm like, what do I do? So I'm like, I'm trying to like, I mean, I've got to pull. There's no way I'm taking this dude down, right? So like, I try to like, and you got to make contact, right? So I'm trying to like reach for his leg. I reach for his leg. He puts me on my back, like knee on belly. He just starts grinding his knee in my chest. And I'm like, I don't want to tap this shit all the time.
Yeah. Was that in the gi?
It was in the gi.
That's so much harder in the gi.
But it was like you don't know who you're gonna pull, and sometimes you look at the guy and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a rough day.
How tall are you?
I don't know. I think either 6'1" or 6 foot, somewhere in between there.
And how much you weigh?
I think I'm walking like 165-ish. I kind of fluctuate between like 170 and like 164, 163 is like the lowest I'll get now.
Okay, so 6 foot. Let's call you 165.
Yeah.
Is there anything you fear when you enter the absolute?
Not so much, honestly. I think I just have to, it's like you have to pick and choose your battles. Like, you know, like last time I did it, first match, I had somebody who was like my size, and he ended up like, he tried like a weird takedown, ended up on his back. So with him, it was kind of easy. I just did normal stuff, and then the second guy was pretty big. So that's where I did use more athleticism, higher pace. So I feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't say I fear anything, but it's more just like decision making, I guess. Kind of just playing off of what they do. I don't know. I feel like I'm so bad at game planning, so I just kind of, I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to do my jiu-jitsu, and it's the only thing that will work for me, I guess. Every time I game plan, I'm just like, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? So
strategy and game plan at like the upper levels, you've got to have it, right? Like you're not going to tap everybody
100%
every match. You played like a really good black belt at Triple Crown. It has a very good game plan and very good strategy all the time.
Yeah.
Talk about that match because it was close.
Yeah.
But he did pull it off at the very end of the match.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I went against Bruno. We both had 3 matches going in. I think he might have had a harder side of the bracket, honestly.
And this is Bruno Pucci from United.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had I knew once I seen he was in the bracket, that was the match I wanted, just because I know, like, okay, that's like probably the hardest match I'm gonna get on the island.
He's
maybe
one of the top guys.
Yeah,
he's one.
At least in my weight class, I would say, just because I've gotten a lot heavier. But yeah, going against him was tough for sure. I thought we would wrestle more. Yeah, he got me stuck in the coyote guard a couple of times. Yeah, we ended up playing more legs with him just because I knew he's an MMA guy, so kind of felt like that's where I was gonna catch him, but didn't stay too disciplined towards the end. We're like 4-4, and I ended up passing him for a second. Didn't walk to north south. Kind of was surprised, and then got put back in that coyote like half guard thing, and then I was like, somebody yelled at me 50 seconds. I started laughing because I was like, fuck, I got stuck here again. It's like I'm gonna get swept with the same move 3 times, and then last I think 40 seconds he wrestled up to a body lock, and like I thought about rolling forward, and I like half committed, and he was already driving me forward, so I ended up on my back in close guard, and then he held me down the last 30 seconds, so lost 6-4.
Yeah, he's a half guard specialist.
Yeah,
you know, whether it's coyote guard, half guard,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's locked down. That's his thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, honestly. I didn't know what to expect. I've only seen him at I think Fight to Win. I watched him compete, and I watched him compete against Varela, but Varela is Varela, so he makes anybody look like that. So yeah, it was a good experience, but I definitely want that match back for sure, especially like within hopefully soon before he gets like, I mean, you know, he's not old, but I don't want him to get like older and then beat him. So hopefully I get to go against him soon. You know,
beat him while he's still out here and in shape and and still Bruno Bucci.
Yeah, exactly. Super nice guy, super cool guy, but just like just being competitive. It was a close match. You always want it back, no matter who it is. But especially because I know, like, before I was I think I gave him a little bit too much respect just because of his name. But
that's so funny. I've both those things, like you said, I've been there. Want that match back, showing him a little too much respect. But good on you for going out there and, you know, selling out and going against him for sure. Yeah, it was a fun match to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I seen you, like, I think you were there maybe like right before my second match. I think I seen you. Yeah, you were reffing. Yeah, definitely it was good, but it just sucks. Everybody comes up to you like, oh, at least you didn't get subbed. Like, you know, the fact that you're competing against him is cool, but to me that's like, I don't know. Like, accepting those moral victories is like, I don't know. I feel like that keeps you too content, you know?
Yes.
I don't want to be content. I want to be like, lose sleep over it and make sure I get better, you know, not just forget about it.
I want the win, but I want the definite win. I don't want the kind of
I wanted to sub him. I didn't want to win on points. So.
If I win by points, I want to, like, man, I blew him out. I don't want them, I could have won either way or this call that way. I want the win.
Yeah.
I want definite.
I think that's like the best way to win too. You go up on points and then you sub him. It's like,
no doubt.
Yeah, there's nothing you can say, right? So.
Yeah. Have you ever had a conversation with Bruno before?
I talked to him after the match. Super cool guy. Super nice guy. Awesome. We were talking because there was like one point in the match where he put me in an outside heel hook, and I like rolled off the mat, not knowing that if you roll off the mat during a submission, it's supposed to be 2. And
he didn't get the 2. Yeah,
he didn't get the 2. We were watching it just now, and technically my knee was cleared before we got off the mat, but he still had a grip on my foot. We went back to the middle, stood up, and he was telling the ref like, "Hey, where's my 2?"
Right.
And I was just standing there. I was like, if they give him 2, they give him 2. I'm not really familiar with the rule set, so. Yeah, I literally told him right before they didn't give him the points and we were about to shake hands. I just said sorry. I was like, I'm not the ref. So I told him after, though, the ref came up and was like, oh, That is supposed to be 2. I told him, like, sorry, if I knew, I would have told the ref, like, hey,
Oh.
give him the 2. I'm not trying to get
Right.
no free points out here, you know.
But Bruno didn't complain about it. He was like, okay,
Oh, no,
you
yeah.
want to? He was like, okay, cool.
Oh no, yeah, he just was like, all right, like whatever,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna score on you anyway. So,
I
yeah,
think-
super cool guy though, super nice guy. Hopefully go train at his gym or something.
Like as a seasoned competitor, you understand those calls don't always go your way. We
Yeah.
watched the video. So from a ref's perspective, what's the locked in sub, what's not? So
Right.
Bruno had the grip. Kekoa had already freed his knee, but it was like
It was barely though. I was like
wasn't-
right about to go off the mat too when I
it-
cleared my knee.
It wasn't like out. It was like
Mm. Tough for the ref,
kind of
too,
out.
yeah.
It's like just enough where you know, as like technique wise, he's not gonna finish it.
Yeah.
But from a referee's perspective, I would see why they would give him the 2.
And the ref was standing on the other side.
Exactly.
He didn't have the vantage point we had, so like we were looking at it and we had a perfect view at
So-
it, so we could see when they would have rolled out. How do you
Triple Crown, if you're listening. All right.
Yeah.
Finals, open weight. It's always the last event or it's the last match, right? You gotta. Maybe we need 2-3 refs.
Three
out
refs.
there.
Three
Right,
refs.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the trippy part. There's like everybody that was watching was like a gym owner and stuff. I was like, man, don't fuck this up. I was like, don't look stupid right now. You know, I was telling somebody I think it was Sebastian Mariconda. You guys know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool guy. I love training with him. He was super cool. But I was telling him, I was like, at the beginning of the tournament, I was like, that's the match I want. Like, so knowing that I got the match, I was like, okay, like, now you got to back it up. You can't just say you want the match and then get steamrolled. You know? So
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got a pretty good showing.
it was cool though. Good experience for sure, especially before going to San Jose. So
Yeah.
definitely.
What's happening in San Jose?
So just the ADCC Open.
Okay.
Yeah, so me, Tashaya, and her sister Tanaya, we're all gonna compete out there. I think there's like 20 kids from IJJ
Yeah, you guys got a
competing.
squad going.
Yeah, a bunch of kids going. So and then Nick Alcaran, the owner of IJJ West, he's gonna
Okay.
compete as well.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we've just been getting ready for that. I'm going up to a new weight class, 76 kilograms. So yeah, just trying to get ready for the next trials. Trying to get some wins out there. Trying to come back with a medal this time.
So that's under the Island Jiu-Jitsu flag.
Yeah.
Right. So who's your sensei? Where do you train at mostly?
Right, that's a hard question. I started at Sojourn with Jason Aquino, and
Uh-huh.
he's always been like my day one, like taught me how to shrimp everything. But that now as I've been competing, I kind of teach over there more. Still
Okay.
train, still get good rounds over there.
Mhm.
But as far as competition coach, I would say Miguel. You met Miguel the other day.
Yep.
Miguel
Miguel's good.
Yeah, Miguel Gomez. He's a black belt over at Island. He's trained all over the place. Growing up, his family was military, so they were in.
Who's Miguel Gomez? Why not
Uh,
this guy?
you
I mean,
know,
he's pretty like low key. Like doesn't really.
yeah.
He only competes ever so often. Like
You know, Raf.
he does all.
Oh
the-
yeah.
His,
Raph.
it's his brother.
That's his brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he ran the trials camp for us last year. Raph did really good. He made it to top 16 out of 256
Raf
people.
is phenomenal.
Sub
Oh,
CJ
my
Murdoch.
God. Yeah, Raf is
Um,
phenomenal.
Tashai did good too. She made it to top 16.
Yep.
But yeah, Miguel's really good. I would say I'd go for him for like competition. He's only been able to coach me at a tournament once, but even just that was like, Jason is the man. Always takes care of me, and I definitely always good to have him in the corner. But as far as somebody who's like, Jason's running a school. He has these kids. He has all this stuff to work on. So Miguel's more like, he will. I don't want to say. I don't know how to say it, but he's good at strategizing for tournaments.
Okay.
He's good at understanding the rule set. Pretty
Yeah.
much doing the extra stuff where all we have to do as the athletes is focus on putting in the work. He lays it out for us, So,
Oh.
but super grateful for him. Training with him and Raf is kind of what took me to the. I wouldn't say I'm not next level yet, but it definitely took me up a notch. Like, I look at videos from like a year and a half ago. I'm just like, geez. Or even last year at trials, I can't believe I even went to trials like that.
Yeah.
Can't believe I won a match. Honestly, like, looking back on it, I was like, dude, if I went against myself a year ago, I would.
Smoke that guy.
It wouldn't even be
Yeah.
competitive. So, but yeah, super grateful for that.
Yeah, having somebody with oversight on you, like this is what you need to do
Yeah.
to get where you need to be, and the athlete like buying in on it, like, hey, I'm gonna follow what you're doing. If the coach knows what they're doing and the athlete knows what they're doing, and you have that synergy, that's where you really push, like you said, like push to that next level. Like you're knocking on that door, and it's like the guy's like, I'm gonna do it all by myself. Like you might get pretty far doing it by yourself, but you don't see the bird's eye view of it.
Right.
And like if you have that one person that like they're still obsessed with it and they're still following everything, they're like, hey, this is what's going on now. Hey, this is what your opponent's good at. So I just need you to figure out this position or whatever. Like, man, now all I gotta do is show up and train. Now all I gotta do is put the work in. Like,
Right.
all right, cool. It makes a huge difference. So having that in itself, like, man, awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Him laying stuff out makes it so much easier,
Yeah.
especially too. he'll tell me right away, like, you know, if I do something stupid, he'll be the first person to say, that was fucking dumb. Like, why are you doing that? You know, Uncle Jason's more like just wants to support, just real positive guy.
Yeah.
You know, Miguel's more like supports you when you need it, but he knows for me, I'm
It's
like,
also real. Right?
yeah, it keeps it real. Like, I need like tough learning. Like, I need somebody to tell me like, hey, that was stupid. Why would you do that? Like, but then he'll also sit with me after a match. He'll watch the match and then he'll be like, oh, he'll just give me answers for what I had problems with. I'm like, fuck, it was so simple, you know. Like, so having him is like, you know, even for him, he helped me get ready for Dan, and he just made it so that any problem Dan could give me, I didn't really have to worry about it. You know, so yeah, big difference having somebody like that.
You know, with your athletes that come in, like especially like they have the physical ability to do it, they need to learn the technical ability. So like we were at Open Mat a couple days ago at Kekoa, and Tashaya, like she's phenomenal, right? You roll with her, you're like, I have nothing for you. And then even afterwards, she's like, oh, like, what do you think? Like, why are you asking me?
Right.
Like, well, but like they still want to learn, right? Like no, I like, what can we do this? How do I do this? How to do this better? Like she's choking you, and she's like, well, how can I make it tighter? Like you're already. I already tapped. Like you already choked me.
Game
like,
over.
What do you mean? She's like, no, I want it to be even tighter. I know you have this secret. Tell me
so
what it is.
Tashaya, right? She's a like judo national champion, wrestling national champion.
Yeah, I think
right?
she
as a youth.
Yeah, I think
right?
wrestling she won. I forget what it's called. It's some worlds thing.
Yeah.
I remember she wrestled with Kendo Rusing.
Okay.
So they wrestled on the same team. Yeah,
Wow.
wrestling and judo is really good.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was like a blue belt, she would just ragdoll me. Every time I stood up, I got thrown or something. I was like, it's like, Jesus Christ, this like 125-pound girl is just throwing me.
So her, I think, I don't think it's easy, but I think it might have been easier for her, like developing that ever improving mindset, right? She's probably been told all her life, you have to keep going, you have to keep getting better and better and better. But what about you? Like, what was your upbringing like? Like, how'd you get to jiu-jitsu? This mindset you're developing now, like, where's all that coming from?
It's kind of hard, honestly. I don't know if there's like a specific moment that made me think like, oh, you have to just keep working. But I guess I think I don't know what it is. I'm just never really content, even if I win a match. Like, I was pissed after the match with Dan because I didn't sub him, and it took 3 minutes just to get to a pass. But I don't know. I guess every time after a tournament, I just I focus on what I did wrong before than what I did right. But I don't know if I could say like, oh, it comes from a specific place. Like, I don't know. I honestly really don't know. I mean, my mom's always just kind of been super supportive. My dad was always working construction, so he's like working 7 days a week, like, you know, I think it was 5 days a week, but still, like, he's gone all day. So I know he has like a good work ethic. But yeah, I think what it is too, maybe my dad always tell me like there's always somebody bigger and badder. So the way I always look at it is like somebody's working their ass off right now, so I better stay on it because I'm gonna run into that guy in the tournament, and I better not let him run me over. So.
Right.
But yeah, I can't say there's like a specific thing that was like, oh, like there wasn't somebody telling me like, oh, like you can't be content. Like that's just the way I think about it. You just.
Well, where'd you grow up?
I grew up so like the first couple years of my life I was in Waikiki, and then from like 3 to like 9.5, 10, I lived on the west side.
Okay.
Did a little bit of kickboxing. That might have been where I got it. Those guys all worked super hard. I would go to watch the fights, and these guys are just no quit.
There's some scrappers out there.
Yeah, there's some scrappers.
You can't teach that toughness.
Yeah, like I remember when I first started doing kickboxing, like we had a pool. I lived in Kekoa Plantation, so it's like a community thing. So there's a community pool, little place to hang out, and I would swim 10 laps on the pool, and then I'd do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and that was like my routine to go to kickboxing. And then,
this is before practice.
Yeah, either before or like on a day where maybe I didn't get to train or something. So yeah, that was cool. I think maybe that probably helped. And then moved to Waikiki when I was like maybe 10, something like that. I think I was 4th grade, and that was weird for sure. I didn't remember Waikiki, so going from Makaha, Waianae to Waikiki is just like amusement park. You're looking around, you're just like, what is going on?
Like right into the heart of Waikiki?
Yeah, right. No, I lived right in the heart of Waikiki. I lived right across from the Banyan Hotel.
Wow.
On Ohua Avenue. So I'm like dead center of Waikiki. Like, so weird. Just, I mean, I had a lot of friends over there already from just surfing and stuff. A lot of they all surf on the world tour. So all my friends we all just surfed every day. Kind of just were little rugrats running around Waikiki. But yeah, I'm moving there was weird. Like just seeing the big hotels. You know, Waianae has buildings and stuff, but like,
not like
it ain't like that.
Yeah,
it's not Waikiki. Like that's like the only city we really have. So going there was like fucking weird. It was like culture shock. Almost.
I lived there for 2 months. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's so weird. But yeah, and then moved to Waikiki and then kind of just moved around town ever since. But didn't start training till I was like 15. Before that, I was just surfing, skating, being a little rug rat.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Kalani High School,
Okay.
but I only went for 3 quarters and dropped out.
Okay.
Yeah, did not.
Wasn't your
finish
thing.
school.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, we talked about that on Max's podcast,
Yeah.
right? Like the old today's school system is so archaic. You know, why are we gonna trap all these kids in a box all day long?
Right,
You
right.
know, until you learn the exact same thing the exact same way, and if you can't,
Yeah.
you're stupid. Like that's so.
Yeah, I think that's why I
old.
hate it. I hate being put in a box. Like, oh, this is the only way to. That's why I like jiu-jitsu so much. It's like, there's never one way to do it. There's like not unlimited ways, but really there kind of is unlimited ways. There's just ways that people haven't found out yet. You know.
Yeah.
So it's cool for sure.
There's a lot of open to interpretation. Like,
Yeah.
be creative. Like, solve this problem how you would solve this problem.
Yeah, you gotta let your mind run wild. Whereas school, it's like, this is the way you're gonna do it. If you don't do it like this, you're wrong.
Yeah, the SATs don't have a lot of interpretation going on.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't know much about SAT, but I would assume so. There's only a couple ways to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure though. Yeah, luckily, started doing jiu-jitsu after I dropped out, and that was like kept me good.
Did you know, like, at what point were you like, jiu-jitsu is the thing, this is what I'm going to do? Because you could have gone the surfing route, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You could have gone the traditional whatever route.
Yeah,
but
100%.
When was it like, nah, it's jiu-jitsu?
So I think what drew me to it at first was, like, I grew up surfing my whole life. Well, boogie boarding mostly, and then I got like 12, 13 and really started surfing, like competing and all that. Was like on flow for Ruka for a little bit. And
Oh, nice.
was like pretty happy about that. And then I just couldn't do it every day though. Like all my friends, they'd surf every day, and I'm like, okay, you guys want to do something different? And nah. I'm like, fuck, this is like kind of getting boring. And then started training when I was like 15 and a half, maybe, like just about turned 16. And I think like 2 or 3 weeks into jiu-jitsu, Uncle Jason showed me the Daisy Fresh, like when they first came out with all those episodes, and I was like, oh, these guys are sleeping in a gym, competing all the time. And once I seen like matches of people competing, I was like, oh, this looks sick, because I got into it wanting to do MMA. I still want to do MMA, but
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what like the real breaking point for me was. I think maybe after my first blue belt comp, I was like, oh, I can actually compete. Like white belt, I kind of got smoked a little bit. Like, got second my first one, lost my first match the next one, won a no-gi match, and got gold. It was just one match in the adult division, and then I think I was 17. And then I did a white belt comp in the gi in California. I got second, lost to a wrestler, and I was like, man, I don't even think I'm cut out for this, you know? Like, got my blue belt and then competed at Naga. And
oh, you didn't have a lot of white belt matches then.
Right.
no, I did like 4 competitions at white belt.
Wow.
I got my blue belt in like 2 years, I think.
Wow.
Like that.
Okay.
And then at blue belt, I remember my first match, I was pretty nervous. I was like, oh shit, I'm in a blue belt comp now. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I got second at my last white belt comp. And then I rear naked choked the first guy in like 2 minutes. And then second guy was Kekoa King. I don't know if you guys know him. He fights MMA now.
Yeah.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
I was nervous to go against him. I think he just got double gold at Triple Crown or something. So I was like, oh shit, this guy like competes. Triangle armbarred him. Was very tired at the end of it. Then I went against this kid named Canullo from Maui, who's been training since he was a kid, and he smoked me. I think he beat me 12-0 and then rear naked choked me. I was disappointed at first, but then I rewatched the clips. I was like, wow, I'm like kind of figuring out how to compete how I do in the training room. And I think after that, I really was like, okay, I wanna train twice a day. I wanna like get to the point where like I don't care what belt I am. I want to be beating black belts. Like, yeah, I think that was probably the point where I was like, okay, I want to really go after it. After trials, though, is when I really took it serious, and I was like, okay, I can compete at a high level, but I have to really put in the work because these guys are so far ahead already. You know,
How old are you now?
19.
19. Okay.
Yeah, turned 20 in July.
He got some time.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Little
Kind of on a-
younger than us.
Kind of on a time crunch though. Still, all these guys are like training since they're 6, so they're my age. They have 13 years of experience. You know, so that's the way I look at it. I think that's what makes me really want to go train and like, I'll just try to do everything I can because I know these guys have way more time on me. But I think if you outwork them, then you can have all the experience in the world. If you're getting outworked, you're getting outworked.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
MMA long term?
I want to. I don't know. I'm so divided right now. Like I really want to. Every time I sign up for a new jiu-jitsu tournament, I'm like, oh, after this tournament, I'm gonna start striking again. You know. But my goal for the beginning of the year is I wanted to have 2 fights by the end of the year, which I knew was a time crunch for sure. But it's frustrating. A lot of guys I beat in jiu-jitsu are winning MMA fights by submission. I know it's a different game, but I was like, okay, if they can do it, I can definitely, if I put in the work, I can make it happen. So I'm hoping maybe even after San Jose. Like I said, though, every tournament, I'm like, oh, after this one. But yeah, I want to start getting back into it. More so, just need to get a car so I can go train.
Right, but if you got to keep setting the alarm clock, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, like someone that's out of shape, right? And like they're like, okay, I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna go to the gym, right? But they wake up, they hit the snooze button, and it just keeps doing that over and over, right? But you just gotta keep setting that alarm clock, you know, and eventually, you know, you're you're gonna get up and you're gonna go, right?
100%. That was the weird thing with Jitsu. I only did it because I knew, oh, you have to do Jiu-Jitsu if you're gonna do MMA. and I was like, you know, growing up on the West Side, you think Jiu-Jitsu's super lame. Like, nobody goes to the ground. A fight goes to the ground, and they stand you up
back
right
up.
here.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, up and up, you know? So I remember, like, when I first came to Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, man, I'm just doing this because I have nothing else to do. And then I don't know what made me like it so much, but I just remember being hooked one day, and that was it. But yeah, definitely want to do MMA for sure. So hopefully by the end of the year, hopefully two, at least one, very minimum.
Right.
So maybe after I get back from San Jose, I'll start getting that going.
I would say, like, train it some and see if you have that same, like, I want to do this every day type of thing. And like, you're never going to be world class at both at the same time. Like, it's never happened. It's never going to happen again. I don't think. But like, just train it and like, hey, like, oh yeah, like this is the new, like, I have the MMA bug instead of the jiu-jitsu bug.
Right,
and you can focus it. But if you do it, you get a fight in and you're like, I like it, but I like jiu-jitsu more than just go back. Like, don't not do it, but like try it and kind of see where it's at.
That was kind of my plan, because I've always wanted to do it since I was a little kid. Like, since I was probably, I would say 6 or 7, when I did kickboxing, I was like, oh, I definitely want to fight. But I want to at least do one just to see. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to be a world champion. I need to at least do one before I can set like a long-term goal. Same thing like jiu-jitsu. I would never want it to be like some competitor who's like everybody knows, but then now I compete a lot and I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool when people come up to you like, oh, I see your videos, you know.
And people are getting to know who you are.
Yeah, slowly.
You have to take pictures of that, I don't know.
No, not there yet. Not there yet. No. But it's cool, though. It's cool to have people come like, oh, I see your videos on Instagram. I like them. Like, you do Darcis a lot. It's always the first thing they say.
He does.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, he does.
I'm just a one-trick pony. You know, I got a couple moves.
So where do you see all this, or where do you hope all this, like, takes you?
It's hard for me to say, but no matter what I'm gonna do, MMA, jiu-jitsu, I just want to compete at the highest level possible and hopefully just make a living. If I'm gonna barely scrape by teaching jiu-jitsu, as long as I'm in the gym every day, I think I'll be happy. So it's kind of one of those things where I just want to try to work my ass off and hope for the best. But really, as long as I'm in the gym every day, I'll be happy. I just don't want to like be older and like think like, oh, what if I would have went for it. So that's what scares me the most, is just having regret and thinking like, oh, I could have trained harder, I could have tried harder, So just kind of see where it takes me, I guess.
That's so key. Like, I don't want the what if. I want to do it and then like fail versus like I'm not gonna do it and I could have. Did you ever fight MMA or striking?
No, I mean, I've done striking. I know enough to like hold a class or do a private here and there, but I'm not. Don't put me out there live and don't video it that's for sure.
The hype and the adrenaline and I mean, even if it's a small show, right? Like getting out there where you can punch someone, but they can punch you back
in your underwear.
Like, so I don't have a few, and it's all amateur. But it was like I've never had that up. Like after I win a jiu-jitsu match, it's like, oh yeah, good job.
I can't see you punching someone in the face for some reason.
MMA, when you win, it's like, it's a completely different like emotions that you go through, and it's so much more like raw, animalistic. Like I was screaming, I'd be in the cage, I'd be like hyped up, and it's like you get hit and you're like, oh, I'm hitting you back. Like jiu-jitsu is like, oh, you passed my guard.
You got that
like,
underhook.
Oh yeah, right. But it was like, oh, that rush was something else. And like you experience it a couple times, it's like, oh yeah,
it's like a high.
I want to do this. I want to do this. But your MMA window, like jiu-jitsu window is small, your MMA window is
super
smaller.
small. Yeah, you're on a time crunch. If you're not like about to go pro by the time you're like 22, 23, you're kind of out 1 foot out the door already. I feel like
you take the fights for fun, and you did it for the experience.
You kind of got to just be like content with where you're at. That point. Not content, but I mean, of course, people have like late. There's very few guys that have like late starts in the UFC and do good, but I'm definitely not aiming for that. If I'm gonna do MMA, if I do MMA, I decide I really like it, I'm not gonna half-ass it and hope something happens.
Go all in.
100%.
Is there anyone like backing you in this MMA journey, you think?
One of my friends that I I say friend, but he's definitely older than me. I met him. He does the Nito boxing. I don't know if you guys know who Ben Santiago is.
I
Don't
Man,
know.
as far as
I know
Hawaii
Nito
MMA
is.
goes, he's really good.
Okay.
Pretty much anybody who trains MMA will
He's
tell you.
at Needle Boxing.
Yeah, he's at Nito boxing.
So he gotta be super legit. Then,
Yeah, he told me, if I want to train, gotta do boxing, right? So
Yep.
hopefully go there. Andre Feely, I met him last year. He's been super supportive and just kind of jiu-jitsu, giving me a lot of advice, but also telling me like if you're gonna do this MMA thing, like you gotta go now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And that was last year. He's telling me that, so I need to decide because I told myself last year I was like I want to get better at jiu-jitsu first. I want to get to the point where I'm beating black belts because I know if you have that kind of jiu-jitsu and MMA, you can kind of ride through your first couple fights just submitting people.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume anything, but I watch these MMA fights and man, these guys grappling don't look that good. I got to be honest,
Your style also is going to translate well because you're high pace and you wrestle. Like you get the jiu-jitsu guys that pull guard or like they're guard players.
My wrestling's not bad. I'm not good, but I wrestle.
I mean,
it's not good wrestling, but I try.
When you combine it with everything else, because your pace is like it's way up there.
Try to.
When you combine all that, I think the transition is going to be like the stuff you can't control. Can you take a punch? Right.
Right.
Like how tough are you? Do you love being in front of people in a cage, shirtless, when they're gonna punch you in the face?
Yeah.
Like those type of things. You'll find out when you do it. Right.
Right. Yeah, I know it's different too. Competing, like training, like once you start going hard, and I like that. Somebody hits you hard, you want to get them back, but it's also a chess match, so it's fun. But I definitely know you gotta try it before you assume like, I'm gonna love this. But I if I had to take a guess, I think I'm gonna be pretty hooked on it once I start. So that's kind of why I didn't want to go into it last year, just because I didn't want to leave my jiu-jitsu and just do MMA and kind of not progress in that. Because I know once I go, once I get addicted to something, I'm just gonna do that. So, but I know when I do MMA, I still do jiu-jitsu, but it's not gonna be the same. I'm not gonna be trying to heel hook people. I'll be trying to wrestle, hold people down, and figure out what's good off the bottom for MMA, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's cool getting the you filter out the jiu-jitsu only techniques or like the non-effective for fighting techniques.
Right.
It's like, I would never do that if someone could punch me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think that's why I always like staying on top in jiu-jitsu too, just because people can never say like, that wouldn't work. Like, I don't care for an MMA fight. If I darce you, where are you gonna hit me from? You know what I mean, if I put you in a ankle lock, you might be able to hit me. Put you in a heel hook or whatever it is. Probably gonna hit me in the face. Yeah. So
who are those? Those guys that call themselves Team Guillotine?
I don't know.
Uriah Faber's team. Was it
Alpha Male?
Alpha Male.
Alpha Male.
Yeah, they have like a really neat front headlock system.
Yeah, that's where Andre Feely was training.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I was the uke for one of his front headlock classes at Sojourn. It was not fun. Dude puts on so much pressure, but really good front headlock for sure. He showed me a couple anaconda things, that defense and finishing, that I still like. If people ask me, I show it to them. And for me, I didn't start finishing anaconda until he showed it to me. So.
Now I remember what I wanted to talk to you about was your, I wouldn't even know what to call it. That
high ground?
No, the crucifix. That crucifix entry that you do, or like
the high ground stuff.
Is that
from the body lock?
Yeah.
Roll over and
is that high ground?
That's high ground. Yeah. So I learned that from Raf, Miguel's brother. He's the one who showed it to me. He did it to me like countless times, and I was like, all right. Can you teach me that? Because that sucks. Yeah, that one's I wouldn't use it in a super high level tournament unless it opened up, but it's basically just you get a body lock, and it kind of, with a wrestler, they'll do a duck under and they'll give it to you.
Right.
But if you're setting it up, like the way I do it is I get a body lock like all the way around, like a tight waist grip, whatever they call it, and I bring my knees up around their shoulders. That way they can't grab like double legs, put me on my side.
Okay.
And you're pretty much rolling to the side, and you kind of have your knees and your elbows connected, so that when they go to for the other guy, that he's upside down looking at the ceiling,
and he thinks he's winning right now.
Thinks he's winning, yeah. And you get one of your hands will go behind their head, the other hand's just ready to catch the other bicep, if that makes sense. And you pretty much have darce arms on both sides, and you have a crucifix.
Darce arms on both sides.
Yeah, so if they roll one way, they get darce. If they roll the other way, you can also put them in a darce. So that's why I liked it, because I only got one move, so you got to build all these entries off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I like it for sure. It's a cool entry. I do it in training sometimes, but I'm trying to stay away from the front headlock and start taking the back more. Trying to well round my game, because everybody in Hawaii, every match I get, the first thing the coach says is, watch the front headlock, watch the darce. So,
okay.
Sometimes I still get it, but I want to be able to I want people to have to worry about everything. That way they're just really not ready.
Yeah. Be good everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like when they can game plan for one or two strategies.
It's real easy.
It's completely different. Like, oh, I know not to let him get here. Like,
exactly.
You know what? He wants front headlock. I'm just gonna let him pass. I'm gonna work off my back.
100%.
But when it's like, oh, you can't even do that because he's gonna do something else. Then you throw some guard work in there, some leg lock or something. It's like, man, I can't put this guy anywhere.
Right.
That's where you want to be. Like, dangerous everywhere.
I know. I keep telling myself I'm gonna pull guard and leg lock somebody. I get into a match, I'm like, that's lame. It's cool though. I mean, I can't say it's lame. Like, you know, if a guy pulls guard on you and subs you in 15 seconds, you can't be like, oh,
right.
Oh, but he sat down. Okay, well, you tapped, so
yeah.
What are you gonna say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for Raph at Trials, it's first match. I think he subbed the guy in like 13 seconds.
Oh.
Pulled guard, went for a Choi bar. The guy defended and then landed in backside 50 and heel hooked him.
Take it right away.
Yeah. Even second match, he did something pretty similar. I think he leg locked the guy pretty quick.
That Choi bar backside 50 combo is so deadly.
Trust me, I know about it.
We're talking about that with the arm bar too. When you're setting that K and it's like there's no matter what you do, you're fighting off a sub.
Yeah, you're defending. It's frustrating.
It's like once you get that started, it's like it's
super
terrifying.
Especially with guys like him, he's so strong. It's like you can't break his grip.
I couldn't imagine.
Cannot break his grip. It's so frustrating.
I may be out of the loop. Where is this high ground? Like, you keep talking high ground. Where's this high ground stuff?
Do you have YouTube?
I do.
What was the guy's name? Officer Grimy?
Officer Grimy, but the guy who made it was actually Barrett Yoshida.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just it's Barrett stuff. But I've never seen Barrett go. I've seen him go to the Anaconda from it. I've never seen him go to the Crucifix. I'm sorry, to the Darce from it.
Yeah.
So it's on the B Team channel.
Okay.
And it's like high ground Officer Grimy or something like that, right?
Oh, what's his name's brother? Marcus's brother.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah. Oh, do you know Marcus?
I've rolled with him. I mean, he probably doesn't know me, but yeah, I know who he is.
Right. I met him at Trials. He was super cool. He was like, you know, he was trying to say all this like Hawaiian phrases. Like, oh, I'm a fellow Holly or something. He was saying I was like,
we're bonding now.
I don't know what he said. He said something like that though. I was like, this guy's funny. He's super cool though.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
But it's like a full instructional, right? Like he goes through the whole thing.
Yeah. On the B Team YouTube channel. Yeah. So
it's a good video. He breaks it down.
John or Officer Grimy, he made it pretty popular, but I would say I know Barrett started it, but yeah, he definitely made it he made it a thing where now everybody kind of is picking up on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it at Triple Crown, and I think I was going against Gavin and Kaimana. You know Kaimana from Trickster. She's like, watch the high ground. It's like, damn, people are picking up on this. I thought I was like getting a head start, you know.
But that video's. It's been out for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, because when I saw it, I noticed that it was close to what Barrett Yoshida does.
Yeah.
Right? But I'd never heard it called high ground before, and
I think that's the first like instructional. Like,
I've never been able to get a Darce.
This is
for sure free.
This is when I hit it in a tournament, at least.
Okay, so
that's
for
where the
people
Darce
that can't see, he's got the body lock, top body lock, pulls the guy over. Oh, shoots the near side arm under. And the top side arm comes over for a Darce in like 3 seconds.
Where hits the Darce from the bottom.
Yeah. I don't like doing them from the bottom too much, but I remember that was my goal for that tournament. I wanted to hit it in a tournament. I wanted to hit it at my first fight to win last year, but couldn't make it happen. As soon as I got to front headlock, he just pinned one of my wrists. I was like, all right.
I mean, that's defense, right? Connect to a hand and then like, either sit to guard or
that's what I mean. That's why I want to get better with the. Yeah, before that I did an Anaconda. I was kind of playing with everything, but yeah, so trying to get away from that stuff though as much as I can. Try not to just be a one-trick pony anymore.
As far as the training goes, so you're deliberately not chasing it. When are we going to see you try and pull off like a back take or ankle lock or some shit?
I wouldn't say like a. I mean, I guess I don't chase it, but if I see it, I'm going to take it. If somebody's sitting there and they got a Darce right there, I'll more so use it to set up the back take.
Okay.
You know, like make them post real hard, make them think I'm going to flip them over, and then start going for the back. Like at Triple Crown, I took the second guy I went against. I took his back. The guy was so big, though, I just could not hold him. But I want to start hitting more rear naked chokes. At Fight to Win, I hit one rear naked choke. I think you were reffing that match.
Yeah.
The one in November. Yeah. I hit one rear naked choke there, but that one was kind of just off of a scramble, so... Hopefully soon, though. I mean, I'm hoping San Jose. Hopefully I can see some back takes. Maybe not some leg locks. Maybe, though. We'll see. Kind of just, I try not to say, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just if you give me something, I'm going to take it. And if you don't want to give me that, I'm going to try to get to the next thing. So
I like when you guys play your front headlock system, you're constantly switching the arm. So it's
Yeah.
like the long arm is always on a different side.
Right, right.
And it's like you start working the escape, you start getting yourself to a good angle, you feel the pressure going, and then like you don't force it. You just, okay, other arm. You're like, oh man, I got to foot off an anaconda.
Yeah.
I got to foot off a Dars. And
Yeah.
it's like they're constantly turning, and it's like, you guys are throwing that leg over, and half the time you're throwing that leg over because Tashaya was doing it to me, where she was setting up a back take, and it's like I'm thinking like, oh, don't let my arm go here. And the next thing I know, she's like teleporting to the back, like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
But comboing that together, so you can tell you guys are really putting in a lot of work in that position.
Definitely trying to. Yeah, her and Tanaya both got really good at front headlocks.
Wow.
Like I was showing some stuff the other day, like just finishing at Sojourn, and they came in a little late, but still caught some of it. And I did Shaya's ankle was sore, so I went with her sister Tanaya.
Okay.
And we're starting from front headlock, and she must have darsed me like maybe 3 times. I was so surprised. The first one I was like, okay, like, you know, just kind of cruise, whatever. And I was like, got deep, and I tried to get out, couldn't get out. Second one, I was like, okay, I'll try a little bit harder. Got darsed again. The last one, I like really tried to defend. I got choked again. I was like, oh, it's good though, because now I know like if they're in a tournament, obviously Miguel will be coaching, but you know that's something that Miguel can call out now because he knows, okay, like they're good at finishing this, you know, because they get to it a lot, but they never like they just take the back. Why not if you can take the back?
Right.
But they're good. I keep telling them like you guys are pretty good at that for somebody who doesn't like. They're not known for it, you know. Nobody sees Tashaya and they're like, "Oh, she's gonna darce me, watch out!" You know, they're like, "Oh, she's gonna wrestle me and take my back or armbar me." So it's frustrating though. It's another thing for me to worry about now when I roll with them. They have good passing too, so you always have to turtle.
Their passing is good.
Yeah,
they come flying in with the knee cuts and everything.
Yeah,
like
or they do like the reverse grip passing.
Yep.
They're really good at that.
Yep. They'll pin that leg real fast. It's like right around the corner. They're nice. They're super nice with it.
Assholes. Yeah.
So when did you decide no more gi for you?
Ooh. Yeah, I was hard. White belt, I competed mostly in the gi. I only had one no gi tournament. At blue belt, I did one gi match, two. The first one I did was with my friend I went to middle school with, but we literally swept each other like 4 or 5 times each, and then I just gassed out before he did, and I think he beat me. I don't know what the score was. It might have been like 8-12 or something. Okay. But yeah, I just gassed out so hard. And for the rest of the day, I still had a no-gi division. I felt like I was sucking through a straw for like 4 hours. I've never been so tired, honestly. Like, I seen you at the Fuji. I was pretty tired, but that was like, I think the gi actually would have been worse. So after that, I almost didn't do my no-gi division that day. I was so tired. I ended up winning no-gi, so I was glad I did it. But, man, I was so tired. So after that, I kind of was like, I'll train the gi, but I'm not going to compete it. And then I did one more at the end of blue belt because I just wanted to see, like, oh, maybe I can win a gi tournament. And then I, like, pulled guard, tried to baseball choke this guy. He's, like, state champ wrestler, I guess. I didn't know. Couldn't baseball choke him. So now he got the points for side control. And then I was, like, scrambling. And at some point when I was getting my guard back, he hit me in the lip. And that little piece of your gum that, like, connects to the top of your lip split open. And it just wouldn't stop bleeding. And the ref was like, come on, man. Like, you're bleeding all over the mat. I'm just going to call it. And I was like, fuck. So I got injury DQ'd. But after that, though, I was like, I remember, like, I got tired, dude. I'm not, I probably still would have lost, honestly. I was pretty tired. But after that, I was like, maybe one day, maybe, like, after I'm done competing, like, no gi seriously, maybe I'll take the time and do a gi match or something or a tournament, a Naga or whatever. But, after that, I was kind of like, I just don't like the, people can just grab grips and just, I know you have to learn how to break the grips, but I just feel like I don't get to explore position as much. Don't have as fun of matches, not as spectator friendly, and there's just no there's not much money in jiu-jitsu, but if there is money in it, it's definitely no gi. That's for sure.
Okay, well, let's have a discussion then.
Yeah.
All right, about this.
All right, let's go.
Let's have a discussion.
I think it'd be Kekoa versus Gary. That's how it's gonna go.
As far as improvement in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
What do we think about gi and no gi? Who's gonna go first?
I'll let you go first.
All right, here's my live and die by this statement. You want good offense, train no gi, because there's nothing to grab onto. Everything's got to be tight. Your position has to be perfect, and the options are so small. I mean, there's like 5 submissions, and that's all you got, and everyone knows those submissions, right? You want to be good at defense, train the gi, because the complete opposite. There's friction, there's grips, there's so many, like all these collar, lapel, whatever chokes. Like, you have to be thinking nonstop. but the gi slows it down, so you have time to be technical.
Right.
So like you want a really good challenge, put a gi on, grapple with someone no gi, tell them to use the grips. It's like a belt or two difference.
Oh
So,
yeah.
because they're using stuff that you don't have the ability to use against them. So offense, you want to be great at offense, no gi. You want to be great at defense, put the gi on. Beat that. Yeah, that's my statement.
Going off of that too, I think in the gi, I think it's a lot harder to play guard, in my opinion, because I mean there is more for you to grab, but there's also like if a guy has good no gi passing and he gets gi grips, it's so hard to stop. Yeah, you know you can get some lasso guard and stuff, but the no gi guys, you know they'll put the pace on you and they'll make it real difficult.
Oh.
And I think in the vice versa, if you're no gi, it's a lot easier to play guard. Maybe harder to pass. I think in the gi it's a lot easier to pass. Like
so.
I don't train gi super often, but when I do, if I'm on top, I normally feel pretty good. But when I'm on bottom, I'm like, fuck, I'm getting beat up now.
I'm gonna go opposite because I pull guard in the gi.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So it's like a very controversial thing. That's just my personal like. Maybe just because I'm not super good at the lapel guards, maybe that's why I have a hard time in the gi. But I just think when you're on bottom, it's so much. There's so much more for the top guy to grab because he's the one who's more mobile. In my opinion, I don't know.
I think like if a guy establishes the grips, it's harder. But as far as like options, I mean, on both sides, but options as a gi player, guard player, I feel like I have a lot of things I can do. And I'm going to preface that with I have a really good straight ankle lock or foot lock.
Okay.
If you have that in the gi, because you can't hook and other stuff, like if you have that, like I can snap your ankle anytime I grab it. Yeah. Like now you can't come close to me. Whereas in like no-gi, getting that grip for that ankle lock is like it's work. In the gi, man, if you
just
let me
hold on to it is work.
If you let me grab your pants, we're getting an entanglement.
Yeah.
And I have so much confidence on my right side. If I grab with my right arm, like I can snap it with very little time needed. So I'll pull guard in the gi because I think the guard is
I
stronger.
feel like that's what you think about it because you're a guard player and then I'm a guard passer. So maybe that's what it is. You know, it just depends what your game is.
Yeah.
I guess like, yeah, I guess the gi, the better part of your game is easier, but then the harder part of your game is even harder.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way I would say it.
You need your input.
I think
add to that.
I think you got to be good at both.
Okay.
You know, that's my, and it could be, you know, I could be jaded, you know, full-time instructor, full-time academy owner. You know, I have a wide net I need to cast. But I tell people you need to be good at both, right? And to all those people that think they're just no-gi players, right? I do both, okay? And I think I can be competitive, if not beat any of those, you know, 40-year-olds, you know, training the same amount of time as me, et cetera, et cetera. I think, you know, go ahead, do all your no-gi full-time, you know, and I think I would have no issue playing with them. But a lot of people think that most of the injuries come in no-gi. Right, I think most of the injuries come in the gi.
I think so too.
I think so too.
Because you're nothing against the ladies, right? But now you're a grown man with testosterone strength, right? You can grab onto something and pull it and hold it far beyond what's good for your health, right? And now somebody's trying to escape that. Boom, torn bicep. Boom, torn pec.
I was gonna say, I think I was just talking about the other day because you're so tense in the gi, it's so much easier to get injured. No gi, you can kind of like. You know, like you limp arm out of stuff, like. Whereas in the gi, you have to like tense up, get a grip, and try to like break away. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's another reason why I kind of stopped competing in the gi. I just feel like maybe I need to get better at breaking grips, but I just feel like we sit in the same position for so long, and guys will just stall you out.
Yeah.
Which you know, maybe that's just on me to get better at breaking grips, but. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, this is not fun. I train the gi like maybe once or twice a week, and it's fun. I love training in the gi. People think I'm like anti-gi. I don't.
I did. I was one of those guys.
100%. I get it. I only compete no gi, so everybody's like, oh, why don't you train the gi? I'm like, I train the gi. I just don't compete in the gi.
Okay.
And
that's where I'm at.
Even training in the gi is fun, but it's like certain days it's fun. Other days I roll with people, and like every person I go with is just like. Maybe because they know I'm a no-gi guy, they try to kill me in the gi. Just like grab onto me, and they're just hugging so hard. I'm like, bro, this is like my gi is like my relaxing, like chill training session. No gi is when I'm like really trying to, you know, get ready for a tournament or something.
Yeah, I wish there was something they could do about that grip thing. You know, even judo, right? Judo knows how devastating grips can be and how boring it can make something. Like they made gripping rules, right? Like
there's a ton
of
ton of rules for action, like purely spectator friendly.
Oh damn,
gotta have
that.
action. No.
Like you can't cross collar grip. You can't double grip on the same side unless you use it right away.
Even the grip breaks.
Yeah, you can't use
Even
two
the grip
hands
breaks.
to break a grip.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that would probably help gi jiu-jitsu a lot. I mean, there's some exciting guys in the gi. Don't get me wrong, but if you're talking about like if you're looking at it from a spectator point of view, somebody who's maybe trained once or twice, you know, you have them watch a gi match, you have them watch a no gi match at the highest level, they're probably gonna enjoy the no gi match more.
Yeah, gi jiu-jitsu is not a spectator sport at all.
If you get it, it's pretty cool sometimes, but even then, you see those IBJJF matches where a guy wins off of an advantage 0-0, and it's like guys are like beating their chest and stuff. Bro, you barely won. You won off of like a attempted guard pass.
Yeah, if you want to go to sleep at night, put on IBJJF Black Belt World Championship Finals, and you'll see 6 hours of 50-50 grips. Yeah, it's terrible.
I think the most exciting gi match I saw might just be because I don't watch a lot of gi matches, but when the Rotolos went at it, Brown Belt Worlds Finals, that was a crazy gi. That was the first gi match I was like, I might come back and watch this again, you know.
Those two are like,
oh my gosh,
fucking ridiculous.
I love the like, we'll just like everyone's watching, but let's just go get after it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What? Like this is
because they could have closed it out. It's not like ADCC won't let you close it out, but IBJJF, they're like, oh, you want to close it out? Go ahead. Like, you know, teammates close it out. They're brothers. They're like, yeah, right. Like, I think I can beat you. You think you can beat me?
Like they have the same DNA. They're like, let's just go.
They train with each other more than anybody.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I think that's cool though.
So do I. Yeah.
I wish we had that like all the time. Like just no closeouts. Like just go scrap it.
Yeah, I don't think there should be closeouts in general. I think even if your teammates like, bro, it's all good. Yeah. Like just have fun, and it should be more fun. Like either way, one of us is winning. That's a win right there. Yep. It's good to know the only person that can beat you is your teammate. Like say you guys are in the final, like regardless of who wins, you're gonna train with each other probably the next day. Yep. Who cares who wins? Like the hardest competitor you had to go against was your teammate or your brother, whatever. I think that's a win in itself. I feel like.
Oh yeah, my goal is always like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like let's take the whole bracket. Let's not even give these guys a chance. Like we'll scrap it out at the end, but like I want my gym, all of us on the podium. 100%. Everyone else can suck it.
Seriously.
Does IJJ? Do you guys fight for it?
I haven't really had a situation yet. Me and my friend Mafai, we would have been in the final, and I lost the ref's decision. I was so mad at Triple Crown. This guy said he gave the other guy the decision because he pinned me flat on my back in half guard, and in Brazil that's an advantage.
Yeah, it's IBJ
advantage. I was so frustrated. I was frustrated because I was almost on his back. I had 2 hooks in, and he had like a headlock on me, and they reset us standing because we were going off the mat. I was like, that's what pissed me. I was like, I was almost on his back, but because he pins me in half guard on my back, you're gonna give him the win. But anyway, me and my friend were like, if we go on the final, we're going for it. Like, who cares, you know? Like, it was just going to be that much more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, let's go to this out of bounds thing.
Okay.
Opinions out of bounds. So you're a match in Texas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen it.
I didn't see it. No.
They told him before the match.
I actually didn't see it.
I actually talked to him about it after because they told him if a submission's locked in, you just keep going.
Yeah.
They rode to like the audience. They went to the parking lot. They ended up like a state over. It was. I mean.
Yeah, like, we rolled pretty far.
Not even close to the mat.
Oh yeah, no. We ended up like I hit my head on the table or something. I think he hit his head on the table too. Yeah.
It's crazy. So like, what are your opinions on the out of bounds, and like, what do we do with it? Because out of bounds suck, especially when there's a submission locked in, right? Either the case with you and Bruno, where it's like that call could have went either way.
I think whatever they do, it just needs to be consistent
and clear.
You know, like whether you go out of bounds standing on 2 feet, or you go out of bounds depending on how you went out of bounds, right? If you have a submission, like the guy is stuck in a triangle, stands up and carries you out of bounds. Well,
you should have DQ.
That should be a different thing, right? But as long as it's consistent, I think that's at least. I know wrestling's a different sport, but that's the way they do it, right? Anytime anyone goes out of bounds, you go back to the middle referee's position, right?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I think it depends on the setting, you know. I think it's what they're doing with the pit stuff is super smart.
Right, there's no out of bounds.
They just trademarked it, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. Yeah.
I
don't know if you guys saw that. Karate Combat at CJI, they like
because it came from Karate Combat.
Yeah. Craig competed in Karate Combat just to test out the pit.
Those matches, like not the grappling ones, but the where they're like doing the karate, like those are cool matches. Guys are jumping off the sides, and it's
a really smart idea. I think that's why with out of bounds, like, you know, after that match, everybody's like, I think Ben Eddy commented like everything doesn't have to be ADCC because we're rolling on the concrete and stuff, but you know, people are trying to talk in the comments. I was like, I commented. I was like, I knew the rules. Like, well played. Like, I knew I was in a submission. I was trying to get out. If there was more mats there, I probably would have defended the exact same way. So I think it just depends. If you're rolling and say you go into like a table, you know what I mean, you can't move anymore. You're in a heel hook and you can't spin the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder. I see that happen at the Orlando Open, and the guy was pissed because he had to tap because he couldn't move. There's a table right there.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just depends. Like, you know, if they're about to go into a table and you know that he won't be able to move, stop it. Try to get the best, you know, have him sit there, try to get the grips and everything, and reset him the way they were going.
Oh, that's a tough reset.
It's a tough reset, but like I think it's better than just,
what is it?
I don't know, letting the guy get subbed next to a table where he can't move. But I get it too though, because in ADCC they tell you, right, if you're in a submission, we're not stopping it no matter what. Doesn't matter where you go. So you have to know, like, if there's a table there, you better get out before you get close to that thing. So
what was the one?
It's hard.
Paul Harris, was it David Avalon, where they reset it in like a deep heel hook? It was something like this.
I don't know.
I don't know. So Paul Harris gets him in a heel hook, and they start rolling out of bounds, and they stop it, and they reset it in the middle.
In a heel hook?
Full grips.
Jesus Christ.
And the ref is like, go.
Oh, yeah.
And Paul Harris
and he didn't let go either. Yeah. And he was tapping. Yeah. Okay.
I remember that. Freaking kicked out of the UFC for holding on to submissions
it was
for too long.
crazy. I'm like, if I was the guy in the heel hook, I'm like, nah, we're good. Let's just call it. They started them full grips. Like, you don't even have momentum on your side at this point.
That's the thing too with a heel hook. Once you could feel when somebody locks a full grip on you, you know, like, oh, this is done.
Yeah.
It's already tight once they get the grip. They don't have to start like making any kind of adjustments.
Yeah, that was probably the like most intentional break I've ever seen.
That guy does not go for the sub. He goes for the break. He's trying to take your leg off your body.
I like the pit. I think we should all make pits.
Yeah, but now it's trademarked though, so now it's
screw
like
just make it.
What happens if you use one? That's a good question.
I'm gonna put it up.
Are they gonna sue you?
Maybe you can't televise it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know how you trademark like a item. Like I don't even know how to call it an item. I don't know what you call it.
I'm gonna call mine the ramp. I'm gonna make it like 6 inches shorter or longer. Yeah. Make the degrees like 3 degrees less or something.
I seen one competition recently just popped up where it was a pit, but it was like a tiny pit. Like it was like, I don't even know what the size would be, but it wasn't bigger than it was like maybe half the size of this room. So they're running into it, and they're pretty much just like, it's like phone booth boxing. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on right here?
Have you guys seen the one they do in the car?
Yeah, car jitsu. I would never do that. People ask like, oh, would you do combat jitsu? I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do that, but
the car one is crazy. Have you seen that?
I have. Yeah,
I'd be so mad if somebody starts choking me with a seatbelt.
Yeah, they just wrap it around.
Dude,
you can use the items in the car.
Yeah, choke each other with seatbelts. Guys like stick their head out the window so they get like space and
it's so crazy.
They go. I've seen guys that grab the seatbelt. So it's like the first thing they do is whoever unbuckles their seatbelt first, then they grab the other person's seatbelt so they can't unbuckle it. One guy like jumped in the back behind his seat and like a movie, just like from behind the guy's in front of him. He wraps the seatbelt around his neck and just starts choking him.
Wow.
Yeah, this ain't jiu-jitsu. This is like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, frick. If anybody breaks into these guys' cars, whoever's breaking into that car is fucked. They're gonna get fucked up.
They got all the practice.
Yeah, these guys like, you just gave them weapons to use.
It looks like it'd be fun to do, but like only if you win.
Yeah, if you lose, you're pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even move in there. They're not doing it in like big cars too. They're doing it in like little
sedans.
Yeah, exactly.
These are like Corollas or something.
Fuck that. I'll never do that. That's one thing I can confidently say.
Never.
Like, I will never do that.
Those look violent though. Those look really violent. They're climbing on top of each other.
Dude. Might as well start throwing punches at that point. Like putting each other's elbows in your face.
Imagine car MMA. Oh, that
wouldn't last very long. It'd be all finishes.
Guys.
There would not be no referees decisions. How do you survive that?
How does the ref stop the fight?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be terrible. Never mind.
Better hope the guy listens.
Scrap that.
Open the car door and pull him out, probably.
Oh, yeah, man. Jeez.
Yeah, all right, but yeah, the pit, man. We need to build some at least a couple ramps.
We need more tournaments over here. That's what I was just thinking about. We need way more tournaments over here.
I want to figure out a way to make that thing where you can like transport it place to place, and just hold a like build it in a gym, have a tournament or whatever.
Have a try it at my gym.
We should do it. No, I'm serious.
I think we need more. I feel like we just need more cash brackets. Where guys can take the day off work to compete. You might make some money still.
You know, that's so funny. Is like whenever there's money involved, thousands of people will go to Naga. 1,500 people will go to Naga.
There's money involved. Only like 5 guys show up.
Yeah, like what?
Like the World Series of Jiu-Jitsu, they're showing up for a while, right?
Yeah.
I never got to do it. And I was like still just learning Jiu-Jitsu when they came, but I
all
know
of a
they're
sudden
doing.
everybody wants to shy away from that.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I was thinking, I was hoping at Sojourn once we get like a space big enough, like frick, every entry fee like $50, winner takes all.
Winner take all.
Yeah, and then I just wouldn't even do belts. I would just do weight.
Just
You know
wait.
what I mean?
Just wait. Yeah.
Just no gi, just do weight.
Yeah.
If people really want a gi division, then do the gi division
Yeah.
too. But and then just do an open weight where it's like $100 to enter. So when you're winning, you're making money.
Yeah.
10 guys, that's $1,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
if anybody's interested, hit us up.
seriously,
I
know,
say,
if
I
you
say
wanna
we
get-
just do it.
I'll
you
be
wanna
the
get
first
paid.
person to sign up. I promise you that.
We go Silver Fox Invitational and we just put some ramps up in there and like sub only, no time limit.
Yeah,
go.
no time limit. I think
Yeah.
that's like the coolest. I did one of those IJJ West. They had like a blue belt comp. I don't know if you guys seen
Oh
that.
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that.
I
That
saw
was a
that
long
one, yeah.
time ago. But that was sick. I think he had it on a 10-minute round, and it was like if there's no sub, you go another 5 minutes, and even that's way more than enough time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a who's number one match. So
I
doing that was cool though. You don't have to stress. You could be in
Yeah.
a good position, and I don't know. I think some people are worried that maybe it'll cause stalling because it's such a long time limit, but. Fuck, you might just see a 30-minute match. Like that's the craziest thing ever. Then you really see who's like really wants it.
If you go 8-man, like you could still get through that in 3-4 hours, right? Like,
Yeah.
Or you make the time limit super short and the overtime super short. And just
You
like,
ever
hey, this is what it is.
Remember
Or do EBI overtime.
Yeah,
you know,
EBI overtime, right?
Fastest escape.
Yeah, and don't do 3 rounds. You get one round. Like,
Yeah, and like if you get subbed, then you get a chance to sub them, and
Yeah.
then it keeps going. If
Yeah.
that's the case,
yeah.
you know. Like,
It's first one, like ride time or submission.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like the EBI overtime.
Yeah,
I never got to do one yet, but
They're fun.
I love armbar escape. So if I'm escaping, I'm picking that armbar every time. That's for sure.
You might have been too young but you may have seen the videos of the Icon.
Yeah,
Right?
Icon.
It was a
fun.
round robin submission only tournament.
Yeah.
And then the finals was always no time limit.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. And you
That's
go till
sick.
somebody was sub. Yeah.
I think too, even if you made like an all-day event, even if you are in a gym, like people will sit at Triple Crown and Naga all day in a
Yeah.
hot, sweaty gym.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't say like, oh, but inside of a gym that'd be rough. It's like, well, a high school gym isn't much better. It's
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing.
I think you make small brackets, one weight class,
Yeah.
just like CGI, right? We just do one weight class. We're gonna get through the same whole thing, one shot.
Yeah.
Cash prize, winner take all, or maybe like
Right.
second place, get your money back type of thing.
Yeah, even if you're just doing
And
like
just go.
under 160 and then over 160,
Yeah.
whatever. I
Uh-huh.
feel like that's like a good in between, or maybe 170. I don't know, 180.
We'll figure it out. Silver Fox Invitation. we're gonna do this.
Seriously.
I'm gonna build some ramps this week and
Oh, that'd be so
Yeah.
fun. You're gonna see some crazy submissions, that's for sure. I will use those ramps.
I have some extra mats we could slap on those ramps.
it
That'd be
can't
crazy.
it can't be that hard to make those.
Yeah,
Right,
I
as
think
long
the
as-
hardest thing it would be just making no gaps in the
Yeah.
mats. I think that'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, hitting the corners and making sure that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then making sure they can take impact.
Yeah, and also making sure that nobody's gonna go up and over.
Yeah.
Because some guys will just. You see the one of the guy jumped off the karate combat one and did a flying triangle.
Yeah.
That was great. Finished it too.
I haven't seen that
It was
one.
crazy. Jumped off the top into a flying triangle. Looks like he lost it and then finishes it. That was nuts.
Let's talk about your surfing here for a second.
Okay.
Okay, what do you ride?
I grew up boogie boarding for a long
Okay.
time, but then in Waikiki, you just kind of depend on the waves. Mostly
Right.
longboard. I grew up competing longboarding. It wasn't
Okay.
like, not like some. You're not gonna see me at pipe or something.
Yeah.
I don't surf super
Uh-huh.
like crazy. So I longboard mostly, and then I think I'm doing one surf contest again in Mexico. First time in a long time.
Where
yeah,
at?
Mexi Log Fest in Mazatlan.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister just won last year.
Oh,
And
nice.
Maybe that's
Okay.
why I'm getting in. It's an invite-only contest, but
What's your
Nice.
sister's first name?
Kiani Canullo.
Okay, I have to
Yeah.
look that up.
Yeah, she won last year. My friend John won last year, but they go every year. All my friends, they've all traveled all over the world. They go to Australia. They're in Australia right now for a contest. They just went to Japan. Literally, they go everywhere. I go to gross little cities for tournaments. People are like, "Where you been?" I'm like, "Nowhere you want to know." But yeah, I don't surf too much anymore.
Okay.
Kind of like, if people want me to teach a surf lesson, I'll do that. Make some money on the side, but I don't enjoy it the way I enjoy training.
Right,
So
right.
it's a lot of ego in surfing more than people.
Oh yeah, right. Out in the
Everybody wants to be a
lineup.
tough guy in the water. I'm just
Which
like,
is so weird.
it's so dumb.
It's so weird.
Right.
I get it when the waves are big because, if you burn somebody,
Yeah.
that could be like a life altering
Yeah.
thing. But when we're surfing, like especially longboarding, we're surfing like little waves in Waikiki too. Brother, we're at the most touristy spot in the
Right.
world. You're gonna try to
Yeah.
yell at somebody, tell them to go in. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. If somebody runs over your kid or something, yes, I get. But guys are yelling over nothing. So
Right. It's supposed to relieve the stress.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
We're not
exactly.
supposed to bring more on.
people that don't surf, like, oh, surfers are so chill. I'm like, yeah. Right. But yeah, I don't really surf too much anymore. It's kind of more, I'll do it if the waves are good or you know, if I'm taking my brother in the water or something.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I've kind of lost the not love for it. I still like it, but
Right.
like I said, training is like #1 priority.
That happened to me too.
Yeah.
Right. Surfing all the time, then jumping into jiu-jitsu. Yours probably the same,
Oh.
right? But then COVID happened, and then I came back
right,
to surfing.
Yeah.
But yeah, your team, you know, they're filled with. I mean, there's probably like 2. Kekoa and Simeon are world-class foilers.
Yeah. They got into the foiling. Simeon's my landlord.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Simeon's my landlord.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're actually like the ones who those are the first people who I went to classes with at IJJ.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like super big influences on like my beginning jiu-jitsu. Obviously, when I transitioned over to Nogi, I didn't train with them as much, but still always cool to train with them.
That's really cool.
But yeah, the foiling, they're really good.
Yeah.
I hit my back on a foil once, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm so scared of those things.
Oh,
Those are crazy.
Too bad.
Right?
I've never
Yeah.
foiled. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Never foiled.
Terrifying.
It's so fun.
I'm gonna go in wakeboard for the first time next week.
Oh, really?
nice.
Where?
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Oh, you're going to Malaysia?
Oh, poor
Yeah,
guy.
for work. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
for work.
one of the guys I'm working with, he's
You go on
like,
some cool work trips, yeah?
he's like, hey, you want to wakeboard? I'm like, I don't know how, but it can't be that hard,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's just go
Right,
try it.
right.
Yeah.
If you can surf, you can wakeboard.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Like little tiny wave.
Yeah, wakeboarding looks fun. I've
uh,
seen that.
The board's attached to your feet. Like
Yeah.
it can't be that hard.
Right.
But I'm gonna try all these like alternative. Like I grew up like it was just surfing, right? Boogie
Yeah.
board and surfing. And it's like none of those cool things to ride. Like
Mhm.
even paddle boards. I'm like, I don't know, paddleboard maybe.
Yeah.
But then I see the guys on them, and I'm like, that looks like fun. You don't even need actual waves. You can just
Right.
use little tiny things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that boat wake?
Yeah.
You guys ever had like the sub squatches? You guys ever use those?
I've seen them. It looks fun.
Those things look
Me and my
crazy.
friends would cause carnage on them.
Oh,
Take
really?
those things out to Queens and just...
In Queens?
Yeah,
Oh,
Queens.
man.
Oh, yeah. We just tell people, you better watch out. You're gonna get run over.
Once we start going, we're going.
Oh, yeah, we're going.
Here's
but
the line.
the worst is with those things where you have like a bunch of people on them, and then it's like inflatable. So after like a couple waves, it's like, you know, slowly starts deflating. I think that's what it was. If you're in the middle, it'll fold. And you'll be in the middle. You just have all your friends, like everybody's bumping into each other. Get hit in the head with paddles once you fall.
Oh god.
But yeah, we used to cause carnage on those things. I just thought about that. Yeah, those things are fun. But yeah, there's like, cause like you said, there's all these different things.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like
Before it was
try
just
them out.
canoeing,
Yeah,
surfing.
oh.
You know, like that was pretty much boogie boarding, and that was kind of it.
Is there anything you take from surfing and bring it to your jiu-jitsu?
I think it's probably more other way around.
Okay.
I guess with surfing, the only thing I could say is like, there's always you could always get better.
Right,
I'd say. You know?
right.
It's not like jiu-jitsu where like you could always learn a new move. You know, there's only especially longboarding. There's only
Mhm.
so many things you can do on a longboard. But I would say it's more other way around. Especially like the patience jiu-jitsu makes you have. It's like before when I would surf, if I don't catch waves for 30 minutes, I'm gonna go in. I'm like, fuck this. You know? After doing jiu-jitsu and like having to be so patient on just getting better, kind of chill now. I would be lying though if I said that every surf session is a good one now, because
Right.
still have days where I catch
Uh-huh.
like 2 waves. I'm like, all right, I'm over this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there's. I don't know. I only competed a little bit, so there wasn't too much I could take from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So different too. It's so like, you know, the thing I hated about competing surfing is, yeah, whether you're losing or winning, like, people can always say like, oh, the tide or the wind.
Right.
Or, oh, there's no waves for my
Yeah.
heat. You know. That's why I like jiu-jitsu, because it's real straight up like. It's me and you on a mat. If I lose, that's on me. If you lose, it's on you. You know,
Yeah.
regardless of injuries or whatever. We all go into this injured, so
See, that's one thing I hate is when people are like, "Oh, I was injured, blah blah
We're
blah,"
all
or
injured.
this, or it was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was a crank." Blah blah.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, like
In training, I can kind of understand it, but in a tournament, bro, anything below the eyes, I'm gonna choke. I don't care
it's all
what it
fair
is, you
game.
know?
Yeah, defend
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, seriously, don't let me get on your back if you don't want your face cranked.
Yeah.
That's the
I,
way I look
I
at
agree
it.
with that.
Like if somebody face cranks me in a tournament, bro, I should have never let you on my back.
yeah.
I can't get mad about that.
if your defense is put your chin down,
Yeah.
get a better
Yeah.
defense.
It's the worst too. When people are like, "Oh, I was injured." Like, fuck, my ribs were bruised going against Bruno. I'm not here saying like, "Oh yeah, you know, he squeezed me," and I'm it's like, no, the adrenaline's going. You really don't feel it.
Yeah.
Fuck, like, yeah, I trip out on people that say that. So if you made that decision to compete,
Yeah.
game on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just
If,
gotta-
if I step out here, it's my responsibility.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Very interesting though. People are just they need that false
Yeah.
win in their head. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I was injured. It doesn't count.
Well, what about bad ref calls? What do you think about bad ref calls?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
depends
haven't
on the call.
experienced too many, so I can't really say. Yeah.
Or when you see your teammate get a bad call.
It's mostly the ref decisions. That's the only
Yeah.
times where I'm kind of like, it's so hard because refs, well, they'll give you the win off if you're just on top most of the time. But
Mhm.
I think if you're on bottom and you're attacking, what good is being on top? You know, so yeah, I haven't had too many like bad calls though, so I can't really say. Even teammates, I haven't seen too many where I'm like, oh, like why didn't they give him points or something? You know.
I think points are a little more definite.
Right.
As a ref, I was kind of like mentored because scoring is a rare event. It has to be a definite score. So like, you know, we always say like it's a 3 count. Like it's got to be a 3+ count. It can't be 1, 2, 3. Oh, they transition out. If it's 1, 2, 3, and the guy starts getting out, like I won't count it. It has to be like 1, 2, 3 points. Right. So for me, the way I was kind of brought up was because scoring is hard. It has to be a definite score. It can't be a maybe score. So anytime it's a maybe score, I always go for the let it go.
Right.
And even when I'm competing, I kind of look at it like that. And I'll see refs that'll throw it up at like 2.5, 2 3/4.
I was just gonna say that some refs, they just give it to you right away, or or like vice versa. Like somebody passes your guard for a second, you get your guard back, they give him a score. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I want the definite score because if I can hold it for 3, I should be able to hold it for 4. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just the guys who kind of showed me how to ref. That's how it should be.
I was thinking like more along the lines of athletes, coaches, like blaming the refs.
Oh yeah, that I hate that, to be honest. Bro, if you're a student or your teammate lost, it is what it is. I mean, it's hard though. Of course, there is those like, you know, there are those events where like they should have got points but they didn't. Especially at the high level tournaments, I get it. If you're at trials and like you should have got your points and they didn't give it to you, you know, that's a big event. You could win your fucking ticket to ADCC. So of course, you know, but when I think it also has to be a balance. So you can't just be screaming and yelling. Like, have a normal conversation. I get it's frustrating, but like if you're just yelling, they're not even gonna hear you out. So I think there's a balance. But at the local tournaments, when I see that going on, I'm like, bro, it's not that serious. Like
it's not
we're at a Naga.
Yeah.
You know, like once you leave this high school gym, nobody knows what's going on in here. Like you're not gonna leave and like, oh, that guy lost. Like, nobody's even gonna remember next week.
Yeah, no one's ever come up to him and be like, hey, let me see your Naga belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see your Naga record.
Seriously, though. People ask me what my jiu-jitsu record is. I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Records are for DJs. I don't pay attention to the record, bro. It's like we're not doing MMA. There is no record.
And no one goes undefeated in jiu-jitsu.
Nobody. I've never heard of anybody never losing a match. Maybe at certain belts.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably it though.
Yeah.
But besides that, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I think arguing those ref calls is just. I'm done arguing ref calls as a coach, as an athlete. Like, you had 3 to 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes to get the job done.
Exactly.
You didn't get the job done. Like, Like, let's move on. Let's get better. Like, you just look like a fool out there.
100%.
Like, arguing with the referee.
I agree with that. It's like, it should have been close to begin with.
Exactly.
It should have been close to begin with.
That's how I feel any time. If I barely win or if I barely lose, it's like, should have never even been close. It should have just been, I should have submitted that guy 100%.
Yeah.
I trip out on people that just want to win by points.
Yeah.
I think it's so boring.
Yeah.
I get it, though. You know, you got to get the win. Especially at the higher level, I get it, you know.
I would stall out anybody at Worlds right now. If I had a ref, you had the rest advantage or I had the actual advantage, I would stall anyone
I get it,
out.
like, last 30 seconds, but, like...
Last 30 seconds, world title on the line.
Yeah,
I might stall you out.
I'll stall you out 2 minutes.
I just mean, like, you know, that's why I like the ADCC rules. The first 3 minutes, there's no points. You just let it fly.
Yeah.
Even if the other guy's being boring, you have your opportunity to go for it. Yeah. So that's why I really like those rule sets. Other rule sets kind of gives stallers an advantage. Yeah. And I'm just like, man, even in sub-only comps, guys will be stalling. I'm like, bro, we're on stage right now.
I hate that.
Like, even if you're in a bad position, bro, just try to get out. Like,
I
don't know. That's why I was frustrated going against Dan. Once I passed him, he was like, it was good on him. I'm not hating on him.
It's good, smart jiu-jitsu.
Very smart on him, but it was frustrating for me because he's just keeping his elbows so tight. Anytime he goes to turtle and I get around him, he goes back flat on his mat, flat back on the mat. But yeah, that was pissing me off. I was like, dude, we're on stage right now. Let's freaking scramble. Let's do something. But it's smart.
And we talked about that on one of ours, right? Like you gotta take the matches. Yeah. Right. You gotta take the matches, and you gotta be exciting. You gotta find a way.
That's what I mean.
To be exciting.
Yeah. That's why it was pissing me off. 2 years in a row, submission battleground. I won ref decisions. I was talking to Alika about that. He was reffing both of them.
I was.
Why didn't you submissions win? Submissions win.
Yeah, man. Start clapping at these guys. But yeah, I was like, man, this guy put me in a match against a brown belt and I won. But it was like probably my most boring match. So I was like, man, I don't know. I mounted him and stuff, but I was pissed for a while after that.
The counter argument is we should also have ways to open guys up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
No, that's what more I was pissed
Yeah.
about. Not so much about him doing that. I was pissed at myself that I wasn't able to get to where I should be. You know,
there's positives and negatives. For me, as a competitor, I will jump in the fire to make it exciting. I will take the risk.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if I think I'm down. If I'm down, points, no points, whatever. Like I want to win this. I'd rather lose trying to win than lose and not get tapped and not try to do anything but not lose. Like so, for myself personally, I'm like I want this to be a firefight, and you watch anytime I'm out there except for Worlds. I'm gonna try and make it a fun, exciting match. Right. I think you get people to like you more.
For sure, people remember you. You know, you could win 100 matches on points, but if you have 3 exciting matches, you're probably gonna be remembered more than the guy who just won a bunch of matches stalling. I think it's hard too. Guys that want to win like refs decisions, like, bro, this guy's not gonna invite you back to this. You know, that's what I was worried about after submission battleground. I told Charles, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I swear, I'm trying to get the submission. Like, you know, that pissed me off. Though. I was like, man, they're not gonna get invited back. I better be careful.
They're supposed to be doing something in July. Submission battleground.
There's a tournament. Yeah,
is it a tournament?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about it?
Yeah, there's a tournament.
Oh, not super fights. Tournament.
They haven't released anything yet, but it's gonna be a tournament. I don't know.
Better be cash bracket. I'm just joking.
I don't know the actual plan, but I know like long term, right? I think they're gonna try to have like to get to the main show or whatever. I think.
Almost like a trials to get to the show.
And this is completely unofficial because I don't have any say in.
So you're leaking information over here.
But that's what I've heard through like the grapevine is that's kind of the plan is the tournament kind of gets you into the show type of thing.
That sounds exciting.
So that'd be really cool.
I feel like that's going to be hard, though. They're going to have to do so much divisions if they want people. If they're going to only dictate it by that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
they should do a certain bracket, though, where it's like if you win that bracket, you get to go who has the title.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be cool. Like, you know, especially for up-and-coming guys who, like, aren't black. Like, you know, they're giving black belts against black belts. Like, I think, which I get it. You know, if you're a black belt, you don't want to take a match against, like, a purple belt who's, like, won an expert division. Like, nobody cares, you know? But
I would.
But I just think it's like, I don't know, I think it'd be cool if they did a bracket where it's like, okay, you win, okay, you're going to go against. Now there's a build up too, because guys are like, you know, training their ass off for this, and then they win the tournament, and now like, okay, I have my opportunity, so I have to really go out there and take it, you know.
And if not a title fight, like a #1 contender fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Something where it's like something's on the line.
But even that'll bring out big brackets for the tournament, because now guys, you know, from blue to black, you know, maybe even some white belt wrestlers are going to be like, okay, I want to be on the main card, you know, I don't want to be the first match where barely nobody's even at the event yet, you know. So I think that'd be cool.
I think that I'll fight anybody. Like put the colored belt on the line, right? Because it doesn't like it doesn't really matter. But the guys that I want to protect it. I don't want to fight a purple belt. Like man, there's purple belts out there that'll jack you up regardless 100%. Of what rank you are. But the guys that are like, I'll take it. I'll fight that guy. Like so that's what I want to see.
Imagine there's like, let's say I think purple belt would be a good example, right? Let's say there's a purple belt out there, okay, and he's maybe done some things, maybe not, right? He's confident in himself, right, and believes that they can take on black belts, right? Personally, I want whoever that is, you know, and if he's maybe even talking a little smack, right? I'm not saying everybody should go out there and start disrespecting other people, right? Especially in a place like Hawaii.
Definitely.
But
not.
If there's somebody that's willing to speak confidently about themselves and is willing to take that risk, like I would welcome them to my gym. I'm like, okay, like you think you got what it takes, then come train. Let's get you ready for this.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how it should be too. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a fine line. I think that's the hardest part for me. I want these big matches, but I'm not going to disrespect anybody. You know? It's like I think it's like kind of corny when people are just talking out their ass to get a match, which I get it. You got to build it up, but at the same time, go win a big tournament, and then people are gonna be like, okay, maybe we should give him this match, you know. So whatever it is,
there's a lot of ways to build hype around yourself. If you do it through like actual like I'm gonna go win some tournaments, it makes it a little more like, oh yeah, this guy deserves it. He should be here. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting to see what SB does. Right.
Yeah, that's cool though. I didn't know they're doing a tournament.
Don't quote me on this. I don't know for sure.
This guy's out here leaking information. I didn't say that.
I overheard people talking, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea." So
no, that's smart. That's cool. They're doing a lot for the jiu-jitsu here in Hawaii, so it's cool to see people investing in it because man, we only have Naga and Triple Crown,
Yeah.
and then now Fuji, but
Fuji,
nobody.
yeah.
I like the way Fuji runs. It's really
So do I.
professional.
Yeah,
but
right.
Fuji's
Nobody-
probably the
they have
best
Matt
run.
Cordy.
yeah, nobody
Coordinators,
shows
a lot.
nobody shows up to it though, so it's kind of hard, you know.
You know, like, and they have that cool ring. Like, I want one of those rings.
Which one?
The Fuji
Oh, yeah,
Absolute.
the
It's
Absolute one,
It's a
yeah.
Super Bowl ring, man.
Who
I
won
think
the
it's
last
just-
Absolute? Did Clifton win?
Clifton won. I think he won. Yeah, he won the
He
adult and the
He
the
won
Masters.
Absolute.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So TLI, Jamil, Elijah Dorsey, Karina Lagrana.
They competed in the Fuji.
Yeah, they
right?
they came out.
Yeah.
You know, and
I was still too light, but I wanted to go against that guy Jamal.
Jamil.
Jamil, sorry,
okay.
not Jamal. Jamil. My
Yeah.
friend was supposed to go against him, but then he got sick and didn't compete.
Okay.
I knew I probably would have got beat up, but I was like, oh no way, world champions competing. Like,
Yeah.
let's go
Oh,
against
yeah.
him, you know.
Yeah, they came out and they did that tournament. So shout out to them. But yeah, I mean, there's
Elijah Dorsey did it too.
Elijah Dorsey was
No
there.
way.
Yeah.
That's funny actually. I remember now the first guy I went against at Triple Crown, he went against Elijah and lost at the Fuji though. But
Okay.
I mean, obviously it's Elijah Dorsey. But I seen that and I was like, when did Elijah Dorsey come here for a tournament?
He's like
Yeah.
the nicest guy.
Dude,
He's
those
so
guys
nice.
Are so respectful,
Oh.
so nice. So I think it was 2021. Like their COVID was still kind of happening. I messaged Jamil on a whim, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come to Hawaii? Like, I'll take care of your food and place to stay. All you got to do is come out here and do jiu-jitsu with us." And he was, and I'll take you around, show you the spot. And he was like, "Yeah, can I bring a friend?" And he brought Elijah and his brother, and they came out and
Didn't even say that it was Elijah.
no,
That's crazy.
And
That's my friend. He's
yeah, just a
he's
friend,
one
you know?
child.
they are like the most professional, nicest, respectful guys that you would ever meet. Like, and they are just all about the jiu-jitsu. You know,
Yeah.
you ask them, "Oh, what's your secret to this and that?" And Jamil's like, "I train every day. I do jiu-jitsu every day."
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's cool. That's super cool. You guys got to train with them.
yeah.
I saw him at that Fuji tournament. He caught a guy in an inside heel hook. I mean, dead to rights. It was locked in.
Mhm.
And the
They
guy
let
was
him out.
The guy was gonna tap, and he looks at the guy. The guy's like, I mean, probably not realizing, or just maybe just stubborn or whatever. He let him go. He just let him go. I was like, there's a lot of guys that would have just snapped it,
Oh yeah, 100%.
but he's just like, oh. you know,
Andy
I'm
Varela
saying
was a
with
leg
it.
locker. He'd have been like, he's like, you're not gonna tap. What you're gonna learn today. Fuck.
But
And he can't even be mad at him. It's a tournament.
Yeah. I mean, you put it on the line, but
especially when you look at somebody, you're like, dude.
he
I'm
looked
gonna-
at him like in the eye. I was
Yeah.
like,
I wonder if that was the guy I went against too, because I think that's. Did he only have one match at that tournament?
Nah,
Elijah?
he had a few.
Oh, he had a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm sure people saw Elijah Dorsey like, oh, I'm gonna get it.
It's on
It was
YouTube.
crazy.
Yeah, the
Really?
matches are on YouTube.
Oh yeah. I remember
Yeah.
now. Yeah, they
It was-
post all the matches.
What's
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah.
He was like pulling guard and like not wrestling, and I'm like, well,
He said he wanted to work on some stuff.
I'm like, that's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
really cool. But yeah, he's such a nice guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, if they come out again, I'll hit you up.
Oh,
And
thank
then
you. Yeah, that'd
we
be awesome.
Come out and roll. I didn't know who you were back then.
I don't expect anybody to know who I am.
In 2021, I think he had just started
Right.
jujitsu.
Well,
Yeah.
they
2021?
came back. They came again in 2023.
Okay.
And so now this is 2025. So it
Yeah.
might be due
Ah.
again.
That'd be cool.
Due to get beat
Yeah.
up. Yeah, but I feel like I've only got to train with a couple of high level guys. We got to train with Levi Jones later. He came to Sojourn.
Oh wow!
It was right when I got my blue belt, so I was pretty much clueless on what he was doing to me. But man, that guy's super nice guy, but just like, frick, you stand there trying to pass his guard, and he's going so slow, but he's on your back, and you don't know what happened, even though he was going so slow. But really cool guy. He's really good.
Like
Oh,
inverted
super good.
Bolo King, man. That guy.
Yeah. You got to
Sticky
train with Elder
guard.
Cruz too. Elder Cruz is really
Oh,
good.
how is he?
He's freaking strong, dude. Super nice guy. Super nice guy, but man, he's strong.
Ah.
I had a whizzer on him, and he pulled in a body lock, and my ribs have been bruised for like 2 weeks. And I'm not even complaining. Fuck, it was a really fun, like really cool to learn from him. Fun rounds too.
Oh.
But yeah, and he was good. Alex Grandy came in.
Okay.
Alex Grandy, just two big guys, so you're just they're kind of just playing with you, but super nice guys.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elder was fucking heavy. He was really heavy. His weight placement was pretty crazy.
This sport is so awesome. You can go train with world champions.
I know, right?
and,
You
like,
can't do that in football. You can't do that in basketball.
No
it's,
other
it's so
sport.
beautiful.
Yeah, there's no other sport where you get the chance to do that.
That's awesome.
Well, Professor Jason is known for bringing in some guys too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they just show up at
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
yeah. Like you don't
Nate
even-
Diaz pops in pretty randomly. Like doesn't even want to do a seminar. Just kind of wants to train while he's here. And then as far as seminars, he brings in a lot of people.
Yeah.
Gary Tonin came. I think Adam Warzinski just came not too long ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's
Damien,
crazy.
yeah. Adam went, and then Damien Anderson and Ethan Crownston, they did one.
Damien's so nice. That guy is so solid.
Really, yeah.
He is like the nicest.
I wanted to go. I just literally did not have the $100. So fuck, I can't go. But yeah, they bring in a lot of cool people. My first seminar was Tainan Dalpro when he first got his black belt.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I'm like a one stripe white belt. I
You
don't even know who
nothing.
this guy is. But he's like the reason that my head and arm chokes are like somewhat okay, because he taught head and arm chokes and it was cool. He taught some passing too. I just don't remember.
Hey, that's a guy that can do gi and no gi.
He's killing it in no gi right now.
Oh.
He's doing really good.
Oh.
I know people see it. I know every gi guy is just like, see the gi's better.
Like, no, it's tightened. No, problem is it's tightened.
No, it's a fair argument though. I think if you train the gi, it's gonna help your no gi. If you train no gi, it's gonna help your gi, just in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my guard gets better when I train gi.
Oh.
And I don't know personally, but again, I'm a passer, so I don't know if that really says much.
Nah, it does. It does.
Who's your favorite famous grappler you've trained with or met?
That I've trained with?
Trained with, met, hung out with, whatever it is.
You
You can say Alika. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's all right. No, I'm just man, that's a hard one, honestly. Grappler. Everybody was super cool, so it's hard to say one. But
Yeah.
Training in California with Majid was super cool.
Okay.
Majid and Joel's gym were really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Majid's super nice guy, and like you know, you ask him a question, he'll give you an answer, and he knows how to roll like just one step ahead of you. Like he'll figure out where you are, and he'll just roll just enough to where you can kind of do stuff, but he's still a step ahead. You know what I mean? And then he'll kind of like pick it up a little bit and pick it back down. But yeah, he was super cool.
That's cool.
First time he rolled, he was like, I went there like a year before. I didn't get to roll with him. And then I went there a second time, and somebody was like, "Oh, have you rolled with Kekoa?" And he said yes, and I was like, "Oh no, we never rolled." And he's like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "How spicy you want it?" I was like 10 out of 10. He fucking crying with me. He did all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, once he asked how spicy you want it, I was like 10 out of 10. And he just absolutely, I don't know how many times he subbed me, but it was a lot. But super cool guy. Super nice guy.
Where's their gym at?
It's in San Diego and Del Mar.
Del Mar, okay.
Yeah, if anybody's in San Diego, check it out, because that's like, I love it. It's the closest thing I can get to Hawaii, I feel like. It's all, the
like,
gym's called Surf Fight,
Yeah.
San Diego's awesome.
Yeah, super cool guys, super cool gym, and yeah, one of their guys is gonna come to San Jose, stay at the same place as me next week. This guy named Drew. He's good. He won purple belt Nogi Worlds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he just competed on PGF.
Okay.
Super. So yeah, they've got really good technique over there. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Different style.
Yeah, I can
Obviously,
imagine.
Majid's half guard stuff is crazy. So
Yeah.
his arm locks are fucking.
So it's Joel and Majid running the gym over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
they kind of, and then they have guys popping all the time. Pete the Greek, Jeff Glover.
Oh yeah.
Craig went there before the CGI. I know that. I think he was just visiting everybody that was competing.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they have people pop in all the time. I think somebody just went. I forget, but every time I go, I leave, and like a week later, Jeff Glover's there. And that's like the one person I really want to roll with. I want to roll with him. He looks super fun to roll with. Every time I leave, it's like next week. Oh yeah, Glover's teaching class. I'm like, motherfucker, dude. Should have stayed one more week.
No, he's like the epitome of exciting.
Yeah.
Like,
Win or lose.
Did he win? He never won a world championship, right?
I don't think so.
He went to ADCC.
The cool thing about their gym, they have Jeff Glover's most technical grappler award in the gym.
No shit.
Yeah, I think it was like 2009. I want to say.
Makes
Something,
sense. That
or
makes sense.
2007,
Yeah.
something like that. But I remember seeing it. I was like, wow, it's crazy to see though. It says Jeff Glover, most technical grappler.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
really cool.
pretty crazy. I think that's almost cooler. Not cooler than a gold. Obviously, a gold ADCC medal is like everything, but that's up there for sure.
That's cool. That's really cool.
To like not win the tournament, but they're like, this guy was like a standout. You know,
Oh.
I don't know if they still give out those awards, but
I think they still do because they still
They
have like most exciting match and stuff like
oh,
that. So
oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
they give them
do.
out differently though. They're like glass with like a crazy plaque.
Yeah,
I know that's
yeah.
who's number one did that. Sorry,
It's a plaque. I think there's a picture involved.
I think that's who's number one.
No,
Maybe they do the same thing. I don't know. I know who's number one. I seen they gave one to J-Rod for him in Tainan's match, I think, or something like that. And it was like glass around it with a picture inside.
Okay.
But
I'm trying to think the latest one I saw like in person because ADCC gives like a black and like little makeup thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the
hilarious.
latest one I've seen. Maybe Gary Tonin and Renato Canullo.
Oh, okay.
They have that.
I haven't even seen that match. Sounds crazy though.
It's a crazy match.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how could it not be?
Yeah.
That was cartwheel after cartwheel.
But that plaque is in the hybrid gym when you walk in. It's
really?
one of the displays.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the one that they had there too. It's like wooden. It's like all wood, and then has like a little, looks like a surf contest trophy. Like you can tell it's old school, But
I gotta say, cool. Sorry to interrupt you, Kekoa.
No, you're good, you're good.
You seem very as far as like 19, 20-year-olds go, especially in this day and age, you seem very present. Like very much here, right? Like, most of the time when I'm having conversations with 19 and 20-year-olds, they're on their phones, and stuff and whatnot. Like, where's this coming from? Where's this?
I don't know. I just try to. I don't know. I think just little. I don't know. Honestly, I just try to be respectful and just try to just take advantage of every moment. Because I know people say like, once you get older, you're like, oh, it goes by so quick, So try not to focus on tomorrow or yesterday. Just try to focus on right now and just kind of, I don't know, not make stupid decisions. I guess so much kids my age are just like stupid, honestly, just doing whatever, but. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess just trying to be grateful for every little moment.
Who are you hanging out with? Like, I mean, what influences?
It's hard to say, honestly. I'm kind of just doing my own thing most of the time. But my friend, he passed away a couple of years ago. But my friend, he was a surfer and skater from North Shore, Clonnie David. He was like,
okay.
He kind of like made me realize, like I was pretty young when I was hanging out with him. So I think I learned a lot kind of after he passed. But being around him and like him having like his like seizures that he dealt with his whole life was like a big inspiration for me, just because he always he always had stuff going on and like was always difficult, but he always made it a point to help out people around him, and just even no matter how hard it was, he'd always make it like a point to just have a good day and just be grateful for every little moment. So I think that was like a big influence on me. Of course there's countless people, but I think that was like after he passed, I really like tried to like, okay, like that's how I didn't understand, like, people were like, oh, you're here, then you're gone. But then after that I really realized like, oh, okay, that's not just like a corny saying or something. It's like
it's real.
You're here and then you're not. All it takes is a moment. So
he's older than you, right?
Yeah, he's a lot older. Yeah, he just kind of treated me like a little brother. Like I didn't know him very long. I only knew him for maybe like a year before he passed. But it was one of those things where he just connected real quick and hung out a lot. And I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe I reminded him of himself when he was younger. But he was super cool. Always like took care of me. I had stuff going on at home, and he just come pick me up. We go skate, do whatever. So it's kind of why I don't skate anymore. It's kind of not fun. It's fun, but it's like kind of hard. But I think after that though, kind of just made me grateful for just every little. I try to be grateful for everything. I still have days where I'm like, could definitely be a little bit better about it. But I think after that, I was just try to be grateful and just try to have a positive impact on people, because I realized after he passed, like that's how much one person could have an impact on you. So I never really understood that till after. Yeah, that was definitely a big turning point for me. When I was like, okay, like, it's cool to be a kid and have fun, but it's also good to, like, try to mature and, just have a good impact on people. Like, and after you hang out with somebody, you want them to, like, remember. And, like, somebody you meet somebody while they're here on a trip, you want them to come back next year and be like, oh, where's this guy at? Like, haven't seen him in a while or whatever it is. I don't know.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Try to be grounded. Try not to be ungrateful, or try not to like look too far ahead. I feel like people get so caught up in like, oh, like before I used to always be tunnel vision, like, oh, I want to do this, but kind of like not only does it slow your progression down, but then like time goes by so much faster because you're not focused on what's going on today. Kind of realized that the hard way, just like, oh shit, it really does pass you by. And I'm like, look, I know I'm young still, but I'm trying to realize that now. I don't want to be like 35, 40 and be like, those guys that are like, oh, back in the day, try to be like, enjoy that now, because I know people always say like, oh, that was the time. So I know right now is the time. So I gotta be happy for that.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. I think that's a good place to close.
You think so?
That was deep. That
was a good close. And I'm sorry, but real serious.
Damn,
real quick.
That was good.
No, that was good. Yeah. Okay.
Shout outs to sponsors and social media.
Shout out obviously Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu, Island Jiu-Jitsu. Come train if you guys are visiting, or if you're just at another gym on a wall. Who always stoked to have people visiting. I don't coach at Island, but I coach at Sojourn, and anybody who competes, even if they're my weight class, whatever, like I'm not here to compete against people in Hawaii. I want to compete against people in the mainland. So come train. Shout out Kekoa Collective. Got some big stuff coming with them. Hopefully, I think they're expanding, so that's cool. And shout out you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's it for me.
Cool.
Right on. Hyper local.
Hyper local out.
All right, let's do it.
Let's